What is up, Internet? It's your boy Tinku. And today, before we get started, I just want to thank everybody. I've been getting a lot of messages about, the whole me being quarantined and everything like that. I just want to let everybody know that I'm not sick. I didn't get the virus. It just, where I live, it's been mandated that everybody stay in their homes and not go outside. So I'm just following the rules. Me and Editor Senpai, we're both fine. We're not sick or anything. It just, I appreciate the messages. We appreciate the messages about, telling us to be safe and we hope we're okay, everything like that. I know our subscriber count's not super high, it's low, but the people we do have sending us messages like that, it does mean a lot to us. So, thank you. And so, with all that out of the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep hitting me up on that Twitter, Facebook, Instagrams. And don't forget to comment in the comments down below. And with all that started, let's go ahead and make Editor Senpai's job a little harder by talking about anime he's not quite into, but he has to find all the B-roll for. Okay, so today, since I've been locked up, I've been reading I've been talking a lot to my boys online and buddies and stuff like that. And the topic of Ishizoku reviewers came up, interspecies reviewers, and all the controversy and all the stuff surrounding it and all the Funimation stuff, things like that. My feelings are well known about it. I made a video about it. You guys can check that out if you want. But they got me thinking about some other really ecchi / maybe borderline-ish anime. And so since I got the time, I went ahead and rewatched Monster Musume. And here in the States, it's called My Everyday Life with Monster Girls. And so basically, it's a typical harem, but instead of them being regular girls, these are all monster girls. And basically, what is these monster races have always existed, but the country of Japan has kept them hidden. And now they're coming forth with this information, and they're starting like a student exchange program with these other races that haven't come live in Japan, integrate them into society, things like that. And of course, it's not super ecchi. It's definitely not Ishizoku reviewers level ecchi, but there are they got the old cartoon boobies for laughs, things like that. It's a comedy, of course, and I really like it. I like the storyline involved. It's pretty funny. It revolves around our main character, Kurusu, who is just a typical Japanese student. He lives alone because his parents work overseas. He lives in a house, and this government agent comes by and drops a monster girl off at his house by mistake. She just does it by mistake. And that's when we get introduced to Mia. And Mia is a snake girl. She's the first girl to live with our MC. She calls him Darling Kun. Almost everybody calls him Darling Kun, so I'll probably just refer to him as Darling Kun moving forward. And of course, since he's super nice to her, because these are monsters, they're girls, but they're also monsters, but he's the first person, again, to, accept these people. It doesn't give him dirty looks because he doesn't think like that. He just, one of the first things he does, she's cold because she's a snake, she's warm-blooded, and she's super long because, she's got the snake thing going on. So first thing he does when he meets her, gets her a blanket to cover up her snake tail parts to keep her warm, and it's just very endearing, very nice, because he doesn't even think about it. He's just a nice guy. He doesn't see people very, welcoming of all races, all people, all things. So, of course, she falls in love with him, and that's when the first episode starts. Her shenanigans trying to get him to, have some fun with her. But there's also a lot of rules going on, and one of the rules is these monster people, monster girls can't hurt humans, and humans can't hurt these monster girls. And so, doing things like engaging in some super happy fun time is considered against the law. So if he does, she'll get deported and all this stuff, and Agent Smith, which is the government agent, is always popping it out on them, seeing what they're okay. Things like that, and so he's like, no, you can't do this. Of course, she tries, because she's a very hot-blooded race, they call her, and very passionate, and so, that's the storyline they got going on. And so you end up with a lot more monster girls that end up living with him, because Agent Smith's like, oh, he's super nice to people, so we'll just keep giving him monster girls to live with him, a much to his dismay, because these are monsters too, so they're super powerful, always throwing him around and stuff, and he's always on the verge of death, because all these girls are trying to entice him, but he's just a human, and they're monster girls with their strength and everything like that, so he's always bandaged up, everything like that. It's hilarious. But you end up with Poppy the Harpy. She's the lolly character. She's of age, of course, but she's the lolly character. But she's a harpy, so she looks like a harpy. So you got that. You have Centauria, who is a centaur, and she is a very knightly, very by the book. But of course, she falls in love with the main character, and Darling Kun, and so she gets kind of conflicted between being his servant because she vows her loyalty to him as a knight, and the fact that she's in love with him, and the fact that she has to compete with all these other girls for his affections. Sue is very interesting because Sue's a slime girl, and so she can transform depending on how much like water she intakes from a little girl to an adult and all that stuff. But our MC Darling Kun sees Sue more as a child figure or like a daughter figure because she's an illegal monster girl. She got brought over by like some illegal shipping company or something like that, and so he does try not to report her to the government and tries to keep her hidden a little bit because he wants to protect her. Because technically she's legal, she gets caught, she gets deported, but all the girls are in love with this girl, and he's in love with her too, and Sue's very cute, and he's teaching her things, so it's more like a father-daughter relationship between those two. So that part's pretty funny too, but she gets pretty hilarious with Sue too, because everybody does get jealous of Sue because he sees her as a child, so he pays a lot of attention to her, trying to teach her things, everybody gets jealous, so on. You got Mero, who is a mermaid, who it's hilarious because, yeah, she's interested in him, but she's obsessed with like romantic fairy tale tragedies like the original Little Mermaid, stuff like that. So she's not really aiming to be with him, but she's aiming to be his mistress for whoever he like ends up with, things like that. And so that part's really funny. And the last girl is Ranchni, who is an arachnid spider lady. And she comes around because like she's a gigantic spider. She has like the Black Widow's like thing on the back, so her back half's like a huge spider, and of course her front half's like a girl because she's a monster girl, and everybody treats her like crap because she's not like one of the gentle looking monster girls. She's a spider, she's very intimidating, she thinks she looks gross, and she ends up falling for Darling Kun because he is super nice to her right when he meets her. He doesn't look at her with disgust or anything like that because he treats everybody equal. Of course, he's just a good guy. And you find out he tells her legs are alluring because apparently he has some sort of leg fetish. And so that catches her off guard. And, she becomes one of the harem, if you will. So they all live with him in his house. And it's about them vying for his affection, him struggling to pay for all these girls and feed them and things like that, and to balance out his time between them. And they got a story thread where the government decides that they're gonna do this thing to where they're gonna let him marry one of the girls as an experiment, and so of course that just ramps everything up. So comedy purposes, they're always beating him around, dragging him around. He's always bandaged up, always has to do things. There's some story threads in there that are pretty funny. So I think it's an awesome anime to watch. It's hilarious. Of course, if you're adverse to cartoon boobies, I wouldn't watch it. But if you can handle stuff like Ishizoku Reviewers, then you can definitely handle Monster Musume. It's a great anime. I think it's hilarious. I just rewatched it since I'm stuck at home, and I love it. I think it's funny. The monster girls are pretty well designed. It does get itchy at times because, again, these girls are trying to get his attention any means necessary. But, again, that's anime. So, hashtag Japan. But with all that said, tell me what you guys think. Tell me in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think, hey, yeah, you do you? Or like, hey, yeah, no, it's really funny. I like it, Just let me know, guys. And always remember, if you can't trust a random fat guy you met on the internet, then who can you trust? And everybody have an awesome, awesome day.